Hi friends, in today's class we will learn how to model the sword you are seeing on the screen. So without wasting any time, let's jump right into it. First I will load the reference image, and just a quick note, I will not be following this reference 100%. I will mainly use it to match the proportions of some shapes. First I will bring the reference sword exactly to the center. Now I will add a plane and rotate it 90 degrees on the x-axis. I will slightly move the reference image to the back. Then I will go into edit mode and enable X-ray mode so I can see the reference image through the mesh and adjust the shape accordingly. I will add an edge loop in the center and delete one half of the plane because I will work on just one side of the shape and use a mirror modifier to create a perfectly symmetrical model. I will move these vertices to match the shape of the reference. Now I will press K to activate the knife tool and add a cut here. Just a simple cut. Then I will switch to edge select mode, select this edge, right click and use dissolve edges to remove it. I will press Ctrl plus R to add an edge loop and use the knife tool again to complete the loop. Finally, I will select the outer edge loop and move it backward. Now I will go to the modifiers tab and add a mirror modifier. And in its setting, I will enable clipping. Then I will create two edge loops here. After that, I will select these middle edges except the top and bottom one to move them backward. Now I want the mirror modifier to work on the z-axis as well. So I will move the origin to the exact center. To do that, I will select this vertex, press Shift plus S and choose cursor to select it. Then in object mode, I will select the object, right click and choose origin to 3D cursor. Now if I enable the z-axis on the mirror modifier, the shape will complete and perfectly symmetrical. Since the main shape is now done, I can also apply the mirror modifier. Now I will go into edit mode, switch the edge select mode and select the edges that I want to keep sharp and bevel them. You can also do this using edge bevel weight, which I will explain a bit later in this same class. Now I will add a subdivision surface modifier and increase the levels value. Then I will right click and choose shade smooth. To enhance the look and feel of the sharp edges, you can enable cavity from here. Since I had already applied the mirror modifier, I forgot that I had not beveled some edges on the back side. Later, I realized it and selected those edges separately and bevel them. But ideally, you can select all the necessary edges at once and bevel them together to save time. I want to keep this part a bit wider from the top, so I will select these vertices and scale them up along the x-axis. As I mentioned at the beginning, I am not going to follow the reference exactly. I will shape it the way I like. Now I will press Shift plus S to move the 3D cursor to the word's origin. and create a new plane and rotate it 90 degrees around the x-axis. Then I will go into edit mode and shape it as needed. I will fast forward the video a bit now since these are simple steps we have already seen while designing the upper part. Here too I will select the outer edge loop and move it backward. Then just like before, I will first move the 3D cursor and then the object's origin to this point and enable Z-axis in the mirror modifier. I will make a few more adjustments to the shape. Now we will select the sharp edges and increase their bevel weight value. Next I will add a bevel modifier and then a subdivision surface modifier. In the bevel modifier settings, I will change the limit method from angle to weight. I will set the subdivision levels to 2. Adjust the bevel mount and finally right click and choose shade smooth. I will apply the mirror modifier, then select these edges and add bevel weight to them as well. After that, I will move the origin to the center of the geometry and slightly scale up the object. In edit mode, I will delete the back faces because I want to make some changes to the shape. And don't worry, we can always add the mirror modifier again later after making the changes. Let's add the mirror modifier again and move it to the top of the stack, but for now I will disable it in the viewport. Next I will select this edge loop and extrude it and move it up to this z-axis line. For now, I will also disable the bevel and subdivision modifier to make editing easier. I will add an edge loop here and then select it and press G twice to slide it down along the edges. I will select this edge loop and set its bevel weight value to full. I will also select these edges and apply full bevel weight to them as well. Then I will move the object's origin to this point and enable Z-axis in the mirror modifier. Of course, I will also turn viewport visibility back on and don't forget to enable clipping too. That's important. I will add another edge loop here, but I will select the side edges and dissolve them. Then I will select these faces, press Alt plus E and choose extrude along normals, but just very slightly. I will select this vertex or maybe just this face and move it down along the z-axis. Then I will dissolve this edge. Wherever a bevel weight is needed on the edges, I will add. I think this looks fine now. And by the way, to enter or exit isolate mode, you can use the slash key. By pressing the slash key, you can isolate the selected object and hide all the others. I will add an edge loop here. Then I will select these faces and use Alt plus E to extrude along normals. Before that, I will remove the bevel weight from this edge loop, and I think it's a good idea to apply the mirror modifier for now. Now I will select these faces, press I to inset and then extrude them. For any edges that need bevel weight, I will add it. As you know, I have been working on the right side, so now I will delete the left side and add the mirror modifier to avoid working on it separately. I will move the mirror modifier to the top of the stack above the other modifiers. As I mentioned earlier, I will not be following the reference completely, so for the side blades of the sword, I will add a new reference image. Then I will create a new plane, rotate it 90 degrees and start designing the blade shape based on the new reference. In edit mode, I will select all the vertices and press M to collapse them into a single vertex. I will place this vertex here and duplicate it to place it here. Then I will press E to extrude and start tracing the shape. I will keep extruding to match the shape, and I will try to make sure that the number of vertices on the bottom side matches the number on the top side. Now I will select these two vertices and press F to fill the face. I will keep pressing F to fill the next faces as well. Wherever the geometry needs adjustment, I will make those accordingly. I will select the center loop and move it along the y-axis. I will delete this extra edge as well. Now I will add a mirror modifier and enable both x and z axis. I will apply the mirror modifier, but you can also choose to apply it later after all adjustments. Next, I will add some edge loops. Select these edges and scale them up on the y-axis. Then I will select all those vertices and press S, X and 0 to align them along the x-axis. I will adjust the shape by moving some of the vertices. Now, if you want, you can select the sharp edges and either bevel them manually or use bevel weight. After that, I will add a subdivision surface modifier and enable shade smooth. You will notice that the shape looks quite nice now. Finally, I will add the mirror modifier again to complete the other side. Next, I will start working on the handle. For that, I will select this edge loop and extrude it. Since the video is getting a bit long, I will fast forward this part because the steps being performed are simple and repetitive. Now I will add a few edge loops. Go into face select mode, enable X-ray mode and select these faces. Then I will go to the face menu and choose poke faces, and afterward use tries to quads to clean the geometry. I will deselect the top and bottom faces, switch to edge select mode and then bevel the remaining edges. Next, I will select one face, go to the select menu, go to select similar and click here to select all the similar surrounding faces. Then I will extrude them either inward or outward depending on the desired shape. But first, I will disable X-ray mode by pressing Alt plus Z. You can also add more details if you want. I hope I was able to explain everything to you clearly, and if you would like me to continue with this same model for the texturing and for the rendering process, you can let me know in the comments as well. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section. We will meet again in the next class. Until then, goodbye and take care.